Hi, everybody, and welcome to Browns Victory Monday, something we haven't
Woohoo!
been able to say very much recently.
Once a month.
Uh, Today's program, I want to point out a few things. Sometimes the things that I say may not be the most popular things that people want to hear, but there are things that make me wonder. And today's show is going to be some visual and audio uh, examples of things that make me question what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to start out the program with something that is not going to go over well, but I want to say something that jumped into my mind as I read the story. If you're just joining the program, go back to the beginning and listen to what I just said, because there are going to be people who are going to take everything I'm saying the wrong way, and I don't want them to do that, but I do like to be inquisitive about things. Today brings good news for all people who love the Cleveland Browns that Bernie Kosar came out of his liver transplant and is actually going home, which is almost unheard of after liver surgery, and that it went replacement of liver, and that is a great thing. And he's been keeping us up to date on social media. The 21-year-old fellow who passed away was a Browns fan, was the donator of the liver, and Kosar's had a hard go of things. And today he said that he didn't think he was going to make his 62nd birthday. From the looks of him, I agree with him. I believe that he was in a world full of hurt, and I think that is the presiding reason. As far as my joy for him and for his friends. I remember years ago when Mickey Mantle, the Yankee great, was on the waiting list for a liver transplant.
Sure, he was.
And he was a known drunk, alcoholic who literally played hungover in baseball games, was basically exposed by the book Ball 4 by Jim Bouton, and that he drank his liver to death.
True.
And at the time, Mickey Mantle was a hero to every young boy in New York, because the Mick was the guy. He was the phenom from the Midwest who came out of nowhere, and he actually did what people said was impossible, which was to replace Joe DiMaggio. And, it was really, he had a massive impact on the New York Yankees. His career would be really shuttled in a lot of respects because of knee problems, but he was a mammoth home run hitter and a larger than life character. In the years that followed, the questions came out how he came to the top of the list over people who just had bad breaks, being born in a situation where they had liver damage, as opposed to a guy who drank his liver out of commission. And that was an issue with Mickey Mantle. I want to read something to you, and I will just let you decide, as the viewer of the program, how you feel. We're going to pretend that you are the parents of a child who has liver damage from a birth issue, a genetic thing that had nothing to do with anything the child did. He didn't get into a can of paint and drink it. It was a matter of just bad luck. You're his parents, and you're on a waiting list for a liver. And Bernie Kosar comes along, because he is a legend in Cleveland, and zips, because he originally had another donor, and it turned out to be an infected liver. And he zooms to the top of the list, and your child is left behind. I'm going to give you a quote, and this is what Bernie Kosar told Terry Pluto last week. I've got early dementia. I got early Parkinson's. I got a lot of stuff going on. Now, if you were the parents of that child, how would you feel if that individual with that situation, and that's not even a full reading of the problems that Bernie has had during the course of his life, leaped ahead of your 6-year-old son? How would you feel? And I will kind of leave it at that, except that celebrity sometimes has too much to do with too much. And I don't know, the success rate on a liver transplant is in a 5-year period is about 72% or after 5 years. But that assumes that the person whose liver was replaced, that it was replaced with a completely healthy liver, that there's no rejection and all of that. But a child who receives a liver transplant, or a teenager that would receive a liver transplant, there would be no reason to believe that they would not live to be that age. Bernie Kosar is currently going to be 62 years of age tomorrow. So I leave this to the doctors. I leave this to the hospitals. But my big cow head and my big cow mouth wonder out loud sometimes how decisions get made. With that in mind, we get to the Cleveland Browns on how decisions get made. Today's not so startling news is that the 180 has been done, the pivot by Kevin Stefanski announcing that Shedeur will be starting against the 49ers this weekend. This after literally disrespecting him in the locker room after the win. Yes, I have video, and you've probably seen video, and you're going to see it again.
No, I haven't. I didn't know anything about this.
All right. I'm going to get into and share the victory speech after the Raiders game by Kevin Stefanski. But I'm going to be pausing this periodically because I want to comment on these things. And I don't mean to make fun of a situation, but at the same time, everything that I have been saying is coming to pass. And the more it goes on, the more incompetent Dillon Gabriel looks. And the guy who has gotten no chance whatsoever did something that Dillon Gabriel couldn't do after a preseason of getting reps and the 6 games that he started. So here's Kevin Stefanski, and I am going to go into share mode. I got you. Oh, I'm sorry. Not that share mode.
Walking in Memphis.
Yeah, I hit
if I could turn back time.
If I could.
I know.
Do you believe in life after love? Oh, sorry.
You're saying in the Browns locker room there's only gypsies, tramps, and thieves?
That's the one. Hold on, Tony. That was before you were born.
I was born in the wagon of the traveling. Oh, my God. And then there's a famous line, Sonny, look out for the tree.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. We got to present a screen and share a screen. And
well, hurry up, because I'm going to leave in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, good. Kevin Stefanski's victory speech. Here we go. Add to stage, and voila, we're there. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
How about that road win?
Yeah.
Hey, how about winning one at home? Yay!
Stayed resilient together like I told you we needed to, right?
We're resilient like I told you. I told you that. I'm giving myself credit for this. First and foremost, I'm holding the game ball. I told you. I'm not. This is not going to be very nice of me. But I mean, that's the way it goes. Here we go.
Stay resilient together, and we fought together. How about Gage's big punt return on special teams?
Yeah, that's the guy you didn't start the season returning kicks when I told you he should be the one based on what the eye test was in preseason. You fucking schmuck. You instead put a guy who immediately got injured, who I said was going to get injured immediately because that's his career. He was old and slow and ran into a pile of people. Larvidan was the best choice, and he didn't believe it, and he didn't even keep him on the roster. He threw him down on the practice squad. We'll keep going. But now, wow, how about that 44-yard return? I'm the reason for that because I made that switch. Here we go.
Corey, every single time you're out there pinning those guys doing your job. Great.
Corey Bohorquez. Does anybody remember him pinning anyone down in this game? I mean, John Cena's pinned down a lot more people than Corey Bohorquez did yesterday's game. He only averaged about 42 yards a kick, and he never got anything down inside the 10-yard line. What is he talking about? And then it dawned on me. Are you ready?
It's going to be the 10-yard punt.
That's right. Why did you punt from the 30-yard line? That's because Corey was on a hot streak and he was pinning them back. Oh, for God's sakes. I mean, I'm holding my head by this point, and you know where we are? We're just a few seconds into this.
He's just massive cringe. The bloke's just a total cringe factory.
He's just justifying every stupid thing he does. All right.
Offense wasn't perfect. How about that big play by
Offense wasn't perfect. You hear that, boy? Not perfect, and I still haven't made up my mind at this point. Dylan Gabriel, if he gets through the concussion protocol, he could be back again. Offense wasn't perfect. Aren't you in charge of the offense? Isn't that why you were hired? Oh, for God's sakes. Week after week, no matter who the quarterback's been, the offense hasn't been perfect. I want to take him by his scruffy little pussy hairs on his chin and make him hurt. Here we go.
Sam at the end. IB, huge play. Q, huge play. Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shador. Well done.
No.
You just call him Stewart?
No, I'll run it back. He just basically...
He just like afterthought him.
Nice job, boy. Thanks for bringing my water to the table. Nice job.
Yeah, then bring me a mint julep the next time.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hey, Harold making a big play. And then another rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shador. Well done.
Welcome. He's been there. Welcome.
I think he said well done.
Oh,
Did
who
he say
knows?
welcome or well done? I don't know. I'm gonna step away. I'll be back.
All right.
First start. Nice job, Shador. Well done. There's that old saying, save the best for last.
Now look in the background at Njoku. You see, Chief, back there? Yeah. He what you're going to see, and I got to go back so that he's going to, and I'm going to see.
First start. Nice job, Shador. Well done.
What he's doing on the side is basically kind of consoling Shador because Shador was hanging his head.
That old saying, save the best for last. How about that fucking defense?
How about that fucking defense I have nothing to do with?
Holy is what I have to say about that. 10 sacks by our defense. Okay? I got one ball in my hand. Okay, I got a guy. He's got to get a cold every week. Okay?
I mean, look at Shador. Do you think he's feeling good about this?
Fuck no.
There's only one game ball. What rookie quarterback who wins his first game doesn't get a game ball?
Shador Sanders.
Shador Sanders. That's exactly right. And he's going to rub it in And he's going to take that football and try to wedge it in Shador's butthole. And he's going to say, hey, there's only one game ball. There's only one. I have the power in my hand. And you're looking at Chief going, oh, no, you didn't.
Oh my God.
I know. This is a clusterfuck. And Shador's sitting there going, well done, rookie quarterback.
Good
That's
job,
all. And you know, nobody wants to say shit because they have a job and they get paid to say what they're going to say, and that's that. But nobody pays me, and it's obvious what he's doing. He's belittling this man. And I'm not saying Shador is a perfect quarterback. We don't know where this is going to go. But man, can't you just admit that you were wrong? Can't you just be effervescent with your positivity because he's a young guy and he just gave you a W that 19 other quarterbacks couldn't do on a foreign turf? Can't you at least do that? And not for a minute. He let off this stupid speech of his with, this is what I told you. This is what I told you. And I'm telling everybody that this is what I told you long before this happened. This guy's got a fucking ego problem. And he's never going to be an effective head coach because it's more important that it's done his way than done in a proper way. And let's continue on with this.
He had a cold this week. Wasn't feeling himself. 3 sacks, which gives him 18 on the season through 11 games, which breaks his own Browns record. Myles Garrett. Come on,
man. And don't you think that if you're the players who have that long look on their face, like David Njoku, the unappreciated, that's what we should call these guys. They're, what did Shador call them? The angry dogs? Is that what he called them?
Yeah.
Well, these are the forgotten, it's like, is Myles Garrett the only star player on this team? Is he the only guy who's constantly, he flipped his car when he was young. He did something as stupid as Kellen Winslow Jr. did. Way more stupid than anything that Shador Sanders ever did. And these players have to stand here. And it's like, it's not that they're not happy for Myles, but it's like, when are the rest of us going to get at least a little slice of chocolate cake here?
And I have to laugh. Kevin goes, oh, he had a cold this week. Like he had leprosy or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, here we go.
So I'll see you guys in tomorrow. Hey, I'll see you Wednesday.
Tomorrow. No, Wednesday. I'm gonna be popular with you. Yeah, it's like, go to hell. Go to fucking straight to hell. This guy doesn't get it. All right. So in the aftermath of the game, while Kevin was doing his little thing, I'm going to share the other video that maybe you've seen and maybe you haven't seen. All right. So first I have to get this out of there. So let's see here if I can stop the screen. There we go. And now I'm going to add something else and share another screen. And this time, this should be this. Share and bang. All right. After the game, here's Andrew Berry. You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. You know what that is? Anybody home?
I don't.
You don't know what it is? That's
No,
what you
sir.
call the thanks for drafting me hug. And
No.
and that's why I drafted you hug. That's what that is. And now I have a bigger, greater picture of what's going on. So I know more than I did before, although I was guessing pretty well right. If you wanted to know who Kevin wanted in the draft, it was Dillon Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
And right after the game, he said, I'm making no decision about who's going to quarterback going to be because Dillon's coming back from the protocol and he's going to be available.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, what's going on in the background? He's belittling Shedeur in what's supposed to be a motivational speech of victory, while the man who really drafted him is smiling and happy for the guy and gives him words of uplifting words.
Yep.
The next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. All of a sudden, the news comes out, Shedeur is starting against the 49ers. Andrew Berry plus Jimmy Haslam is greater than Kevin Stefanski. It's a mathematics equation. And Kevin Stefanski now is outnumbered. He's been voted off the island.
Yep.
And that's what is happening. And Andrew Berry will remain with the team, and Kevin Stefanski will not. And Jimmy Haslam has more sense than Kevin Stefanski, because even though Jimmy is kind of a dim bulb, Kevin Stefanski, who's supposed to be this Ivy League guy, can't see this far in front or beyond himself. He is so myopic that all he sees is what he thinks. And he hurts the team as a direct result. Where was the congratulations to Dylan Sampson, the man he refuses to play? Instead, he was putting Jerome Ford into the game. Don't you think that he made a difference in the game just by giving him a chance? And isn't it funny that it happened on a little screen pass like I suggested they do before the game? Give him some open space. Let him run. He's fast. That's something that we don't have a lot of back there. And they're all waiting for Judkins at the line of scrimmage. And sure enough, man, he looked like a jet. Being fired out of a jet, he was fast, and he scores. So, but let's see, because let's see what Trill Hill has to say. To be fair, Moo, I'm not the biggest fan of Stefanski's, but Dillon never got a game ball, and he statistically had better games than Shedeur. Let's evaluate that. And this is really interesting because that's not true, okay? This is like the same thing about prices are going lower. No, they're not. I go to the store. I do the shopping. I know what prices. I know the difference between higher and lower. I'm not a fucking moron. So I decided to do this in advance because I knew somebody was going to take this little midget and protect him. And there's only one reason that somebody would do that, and I'll get to that in a minute. All right. Let's take the Browns' biggest victory, right? That 31-6 Dolphins thrashing where the Dolphins forgot to show up and play, okay? And
Right.
let's take a look and see what the stats were in this game and what and I'm gonna have to go full screen momentarily with this to get this up. All right. Tagovailoa for the whole game threw for 100 yards. All right. And the Miami Dolphins scored 6 points. You remember the game. It was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel in a 31-point outburst passed for 116 yards. So right off the bat, the most prolific scoring game other than Shadour's 24 points was a 31-point performance that Dylan Gabriel had nothing to do with. Nothing. The Dolphins had 4 turnovers. You remember the game. The defense won the game. It had nothing to do with Dylan Gabriel. So I wanted to continue down that same road and say, well, what was the next best game that Dylan put up some points? Well, the loss to the New York Jets, the lowly Jets, 27-20. Dylan Gabriel threw 17 of 32, which is about the same percentage, which isn't high enough, that Shedeur threw for 167 yards. All right? And they lost, and they scored 20 points. The Browns had 278 yards of total offense, and the Jets had 169, and the Browns still lost. That was with Dylan Gabriel. Looking at the overall scores of the games, since Joe Flacco started the season, the Browns have scored week 1, 17, then 10, then 17, then 9, then 31 in the win that Dylan had nothing to do with, then 13 in a loss, 20 in a loss, and then 16 in a loss to the Ravens. All right. So Dylan Gabriel didn't accomplish the number of points he had one game where he threw for yardage that would be comparable to what Shedeur did without any practice whatsoever in the preseason, without working with the ones until 3 days last week. Don't defend the little midget. There's no defense for him. He didn't play well. Can't we just get over this? That he was the guy who Stefanski wanted. There's nothing, and if you take a look at the yardage that Gabriel's thrown for and the quarterback ratings that he's gotten, it's not substantially different than what Shedeur had, but there's one massive difference. He can't throw the ball down the field. Look at the average yards per pass since he took over. 4.3, 4.5, 5.2. And if you're wondering about Shedeur, 10.4. He doubled him because he was able, and it was those big chunk plays that decided the game. Would you want to be in the situation and I got to get back to
Yeah, there's no way in hell Dylan Gabriel's making that throw to Isaiah Bond.
Oh, never in a million month of Sundays.
No. And so, he's trying. And so you're trying to point out, let's go back again. I'm not even trying to protect the midget. I want him out too. I'm just trying to point out that Stefanski wasn't trying to prop him up. Bullshit! How can you watch your team win a road game when you hadn't done it with a first game quarterback in the previous 18 or 19 tries? And it was Eric Zeier who was the last one in 1995. Do you want to know how long ago that was? Eric Zeier has been the broadcaster for the University of Georgia Bulldogs, and he's retiring at the end of the year.
Yeah, I heard that on one of the broadcasts. Yeah,
I mean, come on. He's not trying to prop him up. You have to prop him up just to see him, for one thing. And I don't mean to be cruel about Dylan Gabriel, but he didn't cut it. You can't win throwing 4 yards down the field. You just can't. The singular throw of throwing that ball to Isaiah Bond is something that Dylan Gabriel could never do. Never. He couldn't get the ball that far rolling out with accuracy. He may not even be able to get the ball there, period. So that play goes down. Then we run the goal line offense. We get it in, and we're up 7-0. And then the big play that was the screen pass. No, that doesn't take any great skill necessarily. But if we had been calling plays against blitzes like this earlier, you get men who are mano a mano outside, and one little twist and shake. I didn't expect him to go 60 yards. I didn't expect that. But I felt that there would be 10 to 12-yard gains available if they were going to bring in Max Crosby and bring everybody full bore. And we caught them. We just caught them on their heels. They weren't expecting it because they hadn't seen it all.
They hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen it.
And or it would have gone to Jerome Ford, who wouldn't have broken it. So the whole thing, the wrong guys are playing. As they said in the Dewey Cox story, Walk Hard, the wrong kid died.
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen Dylan Sampson run downhill before. That was the first play we've ever seen him run that fast, because that's the first play he's had the opportunity to turn the Jets on.
Well, he did earlier on a running play earlier in the game. He just doesn't get any reps.
Yeah, exactly.
He never gets any rhythm.
But anyway,
I just...
Should I go back and watch your Stefanski thing? Because I obviously stepped away for a while.
Yeah, you can go back, and it's what it is. So Shedeur threw for 209 yards, and he had his overall rating, I believe, was somewhere around an 87.4, around there, which by the Brown standard is good. Inordinately high, given the fact that we don't really have an offense. And I'm not suggesting that Shedeur is going to automatically make this happen, because the Raiders look like a very flat team. And I would say for the second straight year, they're going to dump their offensive coordinator, Pete Carroll. And that was really weird watching Pete Carroll on the sidelines.
You're fuming.
I remember him from his USC days, and now he's all hunched over. I said, how old is he? And then they said he was 5 years older than I am. It's like,
Jimmy Haslam's age. But anyway, they fired Chip Kelly.
Yep.
He's been fired.
Gone.
Yep.
That's two mid-seasons. And could the coach be far behind? I mean, this was obviously not a motivated group of players.
I mean, if you're that old, do you really want to put up with trying to coach up that shit that they got out there? I mean, come on.
How did they end up with such a bad team? I really don't know.
Well, the bad ownership. Jesus. We've gone over this so many times.
Yeah. It's just and they were worse than we were, and that's what it comes down to.
Appalling.
And and look, Geno Smith was 30 of 44, but he got sacked 10 times.
He didn't look 30 for 44, did he?
No, but I mean, it was. I mean, I'm trying to be as forthright as I can be that everything that Kevin Stefanski has decided to do has been wrong each step of the way, and he utilizes what should be a happy moment for the players to start out a rah-rah speech with, see, happened just the way I said it would. I tune out, man. I tune out. I want his ass fired so bad at the end of the year. I feel the same way about him as the idiots that I had to work for years and decades ago. He's just wrong about shit. The offense is wrong. The concept is wrong. The players are not being used properly. I can tell you that there are at least 5 more players on this roster who would truly make a difference if they were being given a chance to play. I can guarantee you that. But
Wow.
because he's closed-minded, that's not happening.
Well, next Sunday we got the 49ers coming in. They play tonight. So they're on a short week. They play a reasonably good Panthers team. And it's a trap game for them. But, we usually get our ass handed to us when we play the 49ers. I mean, the past 4 games, we've been absolutely kicked in the ass by them. So
Now I want to share another screen.
another screen.
Yeah, and I know I'm not really great at sharing screens, but
Another screen.
yeah, they keep changing the studio on me, and it's very confusing. All right, here we go, and this is going to be a little bit odd to look at first, so bear with me. All right,
Bear is with you.
You're what you're looking at is this piece of shit that I'm going to run back
Oh
here,
God.
and
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
whoops,
you had it for a
it
second.
just flipped on me, and that's the problem with these things. You're going to have to look at it in the
Yeah, run through
small-
let the ad run, whatever it is.
yeah, and if anyone can tell me that this wasn't an intentional play, I mean, I believe more strongly today that he was gambling influenced and that he did this. And see, now we're getting all of these.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, fuck this.
Scroll down. Yeah.
Let's look at the touchdown pass that bothers me. And again, we have to go through this crap. And I'm going to scrap this because I'm not here to advertise for anybody. These ads are full length ads, and there we go. There we go. Here we go.
Yep. Nobody was trying.
Look, this is the view. Watch Miles Harden. I'm stopping now. Why would you stop? Look at Denzel Ward's reaction.
Denzel Ward's frustrated, and the guy's just moping around.
Miles Harden has done this on many occasions this year, and I want to run it back again because there's no one else for him to possibly be covering. What would he do?
He's just sitting in a zone that,
I'm sorry.
It's like he was told to stand in that particular zone and not use his head or something. I don't know. I'm trying to justify him, and I don't think it's hard to do that.
All right, and now we're going to go below it here.
Oh, here we go. Here's the.
We're going to have to wait. But I still, the Jerry Jeudy, they're calling it a high step. No. I mean, and again, when you stop action this thing and you start, here we go. Look at the nice, and did you notice how Shedeur with his hand said, "Come on, come on."
Yeah, he was orchestrating that.
That's right. All right. So
that's the word you want.
Beautiful throw. No, that's can't.
Nonsense.
What was the move going to be from complete deceleration? Here we go. He stopped running. He quit. That is intentional. The Browns should sit him and he should be investigated. This is not real. This is not legal. This is not ethical. This is not moral. This is what makes us question the validity of a lot of things that are happening in sports. It's just not possible.
Try the full screen button on the far right there. Yeah, see whether that does anything. Here, well, it did for half a second. Sorry.
Yep.
No.
But at any rate, now I get another commercial, so I'm not
Fucked
going to
it
do
up.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So at any rate, you've seen the play enough to know. But what would the move be? I've never seen a move made where a guy's got that much open field around him and just stops. I've seen guys cut back. I've seen him do all kinds of things, but I've never seen a guy flat out stop.
Well, wow, that's a weird noise in the background.
Yeah. That was I think a vehicle driving by outside.
Yeah, there's a car driving outside my window. Sorry.
I can't imagine what, and nobody's talking about it, which is the other thing that makes me feel worse
Except for
about
Cal.
it. It makes me think that was in fact bullshit. And with the Class A thing, the Ortiz thing, and everything that's going down now at the college level, it's going to be the Browns who get caught on this because of Jimmy Haslam and their lousy organization, and it will come out. This will come out. I have felt that there is something wrong with Jerry Jeudy. The moment he came here, he was a question mark when he played out in Denver, and he's just not reliable. And I don't believe that he's dropping these passes for no reason now. This is beyond all coincidence. And nobody's even mentioning it. He should never be allowed to step foot on the field for the Browns again. And there is another receiver on this roster who will do something now. A guy like Isaiah Bond, and nobody's going to tell you that he knows how to run a pattern, but just with sheer raw speed, he's gotten downfield on 2 occasions, and it got hooked up, and he was a near touchdown where he was down on the 2-yard line. I mean, we have a quarterback now who can stretch the field. It's a threat. Use your speed, but not a guy who refuses to, who's making money on the side this way.
It's almost like we've got an Anthony Schwartz who can catch now and run patterns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he's built to go over the middle or anything like that, but he's a guy who, if they keep throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us defensively on pass rush, if that's what they're going to do, we have a guy who can burn that defense because he can fly. Look at Tucker, their guy. Tucker beat our secondary 3 times in a row deep. Yeah, because when you put a lot of pressure on, you're relying on mano-a-mano. And Shedeur threw a dime. Yeah. I mean, that was on the money. So,
well, I think the fan base really wants to see the team try next Sunday and at least not embarrass themselves, and why not finally win 2 games in a row,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it would be a no-brainer, but to Kevin, it was like, well, I got to analyze this. He's looking for a reason to go back to Dillon Gabriel, and it's because he's stuck in his own head, and his own head is limited. He's a limited coach, and we don't need him.
Well, we've had 6 years of this shit, and look at him now. He looks like he's aged more than Obama did during his presidency. The dude looks old now.
He's become more closed-minded. That's the thing that is really unfortunate, is that instead of saying, we could open up new horizons, he's just narrowed down that he can't see. He's tunnel visioned. He can't see. And they were asking why on earth anyone would draft Gabriel when Will Howard. Where does Will Howard? I mean, fuck Will Howard. Make that stop, the Ohio State fan thing. Bula bula.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I believe he was a 5-star kid when he was, when he went to Alabama.
Character is very important. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How about them Cavs? We got a game tonight. It's
if you want to call it that. No, Kevin didn't make the right call. They told Kevin.
Yeah.
You saw Andrew Berry, if you were watching the beginning of the show, Jeffrey, embracing Shedeur after the game and Stefanski belittling him and really playing down the effectiveness of the offense, the job that Shedeur did. Stefanski has nothing to do with this, and he's gone at the end of the year. He is so done, unless Shedeur gets hurt or Shedeur just turns out to be like, well, he's not the answer either, which could very well be the case. I'm not sitting here and saying, I want Shedeur forever. But I can tell you, after 6 games of watching Dillon Gabriel, I don't want, what's the punchline? I sure as fuck don't want 67 more of those.
Yeah. No.
God. Yeah, exactly.
Lenny and Squiggy. Wow.
Why don't they? Yeah, Corley. Yeah, Corley. Yeah, they use him for only one play, and that's an end around.
Oh, well, that's the disappearing successful offensive guy. Comes in one play, makes 18 yards, fucks off.
Well, they ran it again, and they buried him 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage because they knew what he was in there for. It's just pathetic.
The other thing I thought of was watching these Wildcat plays with Judkins now.
Mhm.
What if they had tried that with somebody who actually knew what the blocking schemes were, like Nick Chubb? What if they had tried that with Nick Chubb in the Wildcat and he could pick his own holes? But they never did. That never occurred to any of them.
Well, I mean, again, there's only one strategy. And it's an admission that the offensive line is so bad that you need one more guy on the field there to be able to block. That's all that's happening. He's getting a snap.
You get enough blockers that you're one-on-one with the middle linebacker, essentially the running back.
The second one that he scored on, Whiteheart, the tight end, made a good block, and he was the extra blocker. It's a numbers game, and you outnumber them on the goal line. And that's all that is. It's not brilliant, and if it were such a brilliant idea, he would have been the innovator, and we would have been seeing it for years. But instead, it's a desperation move because he realizes his offensive line isn't capable of blocking people.
Well, more so than the Raiders are, but that's about it.
And this is a very good point. He's free to believe what he wants to believe, and he just doesn't think that a wide receiver should score. And I think that's probably very true, except off the field with the wrong women. It
almost looked like one of those plays towards the end of the game where you're trying hard not to score, and you're meant to fall down or slide or not go out of bounds. But it wasn't.
Yeah, and AJ Brown's having issues with the Eagles. Well, but he ain't coming to Cleveland because at least they're winning in Philadelphia for the most part. So no, nobody wants to come to Cleveland right now because they're terrible, and they're terrible because of Kevin Stefanski and Jimmy Haslam
and the ownership. Yeah, the other thing is, why is it that it seems to be wide receivers are the total flakes out there in the world? That's been going on for so long.
Yeah,
and I'm getting tired of it.
Now, you know how we do Austin Carr? Do your Austin Carr.
My knees.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Could you do Andre Rison? My house is on fire.
I mean, this has been going on. The flaky wide receivers have been going on for like 30 years now.
Odell Beckham Jr.
I'm tired of it. I really am.
It's like that's what makes a Jerry Rice such an amazing find historically. He's playing for a Mississippi Valley State. If you heard him speak when he came out of college, he had that Southern drawl. You couldn't understand every third word. He went and took speaking lessons. Wow. And you know why he took speaking lessons?
Why?
He was such a good receiver. Everyone wanted to know more about him. And his agent said to him, this would be a way so that you can explain your story better so people will understand it. And that's what he did. This guy was talented and he was motivated, and you never had a problem with him being in shape, being ready for the game, concentrating. You never had a problem with him.
Well, then there's Lynn Swan, who actually went on to broadcasting. There's Paul Warfield. There's a lot of great people that have been wide receivers. I don't want to put the whole, but the flaky ones really stand out. That's just what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, and yeah, it does seem that way. And now you have Jamar Chase spitting in people's faces and getting,
No, I mean, just
you stay in Cincinnati long enough with Zach Taylor, and that's the
and
commonality
he's
here.
another guy that needs to just go away.
Go, but it's the owner who keeps bringing these schmucks in. It's like, who in the hell hires a head coach like Sam White who says, "You gotta be quiet, or you're not in Cleveland"? It's like, what a knucklehead. And it's like, well, we're gonna put our faith in Boomer, the left-handed sailor. The ball's like 10 feet over receivers' heads. Bad decisions, bad organizations. They go hand in hand. And yeah, so now Jamar Chase is becoming a troublemaker and thinking of himself first instead of his team. They can't afford him getting suspended like that, but he does it anyway. I don't know, man. And yeah, Jerry Jeudy, put him on the witness stand and he'll be in jail for 3 years. Believe me. I'm
just tired.
Well, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. Yeah. Smash that like button. Yeah. No, but I can't. I understand why people might not like what I'm saying. I get that. I'm not here. It was really interesting. Tom Withers, who's a guy who works, I don't know if he still works for AP, but he writes some of the goofiest things on Twitter that you can imagine. Really goofy stuff. And one of the things that he wrote was talking about the players who have potential on the Browns, like Schwesinger and they had re-signed, I'm blanking on the pass rusher's name, who they just signed to
McGuire, I think.
No, McGuire's a linebacker. Somebody in the chat room will remind me. I'm old. They just Wright. Is that his name?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You could be right. You could be wrong.
That's right. But yeah, they signed him to a $21 million deal, and he's getting good pass rush. Alex Wright, thank you, Dog Bones. I appreciate
Gary it. Wright.
Yeah.
Dreamweaver.
So let's see how much you know, Mr. Britt.
Yeah, all right.
Where was he before Dreamweaver?
Oh.
Gary Wright. Who was he the leader of? What band?
It's not Humble Pie because that was Peter Frampton.
That's right.
And it's not
this guy to you.
No. Is it an English band?
Yep.
No. Badfinger or somebody like that, or
no. That's right, Rick May. Rick May. I know, and Sun Sunshine. That's right, guys.
Spooky
Very
Tooth.
good. Spooky Tooth is the answer, and give both men full credit. Yeah. I just close my eyes again. Yeah.
My Love Is Alive.
My love is alive. Yeah.
Those were great hook songs. I mean, they had bass like you wouldn't believe in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And then I do want to end the program with a few things. Here's the headline from Mary Kay Cabbage Whore. Why Shedeur Sanders must start next week versus the 49ers.
Oh, is she putting her foot down?
Even though Kevin Stefanski hasn't yet said he will. And that was, of course, before he said
he will.
Yeah. She's getting paid. She's getting paid by the organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Haslam says, here's your next headline. Yeah, God, it's just pathetic.
Oh, somebody needs to look up Spooky Tooth.
Yeah. Spooky Tooth. There's a lot of great British bands. And
second tier bands. Like there's a lot of them.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention is the Guardians. They had to try to settle or just part ways with a few players, and I will just read the beginning of this.
Have they done something today? Because I don't know anything about this.
In a move that left many Cleveland baseball observers confused, the Guardians agreed to a $2 million extension deal with Nolan Jones.
Oh.
How in the hell can that be? How in the hell? And even Hoynesy. Hey, Hoynesy. Yeah. This is his quote. They give him a $2 million deal for 1 year. He did not play well last season, to be honest.
He didn't.
It was a struggle for him from the start. It's been a struggle for him his whole career. You just shake your big cow head and say, organizations who are convinced that offense is not important in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, think about that name, Nolan Jones. It sounds like a 1970s medical doctor program, like Nolan Jones, MD, coming up at 10 p.m. tonight on ABC.
Yeah. Paging Dr. Jones.
Paging Dr. Jones.
And this, I will be my second to last thing that I say today before you just blow me out of the chair. Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner claimed it was too early in the offseason to determine his team's payroll range for the 2026 season. But he'd prefer that the number drops from the $319 million that he said that the Yankees spent on players in 2025. Would it be ideal if I went down with the payroll? Of course, Steinbrenner said. That means a big pig like me will make more money.
More money.
And that's all it's about. But then he continues the quote this way, and this is why I want to kick him in the nutsack.
You almost broke into the John Madden voice. I think you do the John Madden voice for this one.
I mean, would it be ideal if I went down? Of course. But does that mean it's going to happen? Of course not. This is really what he said. We want to field a team we know could win a championship, or we believe could win a championship. It's been 16 fucking years, you idiot.
They didn't even win the fucking division this year.
Payroll has nothing to do with it except getting you into the playoffs year after year. But you're a schmuck. You're a schmuck, and you find a way to fuck it up. And now you're saying, well, maybe I'll just shove more of the money in my pocket. You can do what Jimmy Haslam does. Go for it. Go for it. I mean, what do I care about New York Yankees? Talking about New York, the New York Giants. I have a neighbor who's a great guy.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the New York Giants have a very special distinction right now. They are the only franchise eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh, really?
Even the lowly Tennessee Titans at 1-10 still have a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs, but the Giants are eliminated according to NFL.com.
I'm like totally lost with the Giants. They had, for the umpteenth time this year, they had a double-digit lead. They had the game won, and their defense just stops playing. I'm sitting there watching this game, and I'm
wonder about them.
And and Dan Campbell,
I'm Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. Galveston, oh Galveston. Yeah. I'm Dan Campbell. It's knowing that my football team is never going to win a Super Bowl.
Oh.
I'm just thinking to myself, he took over the offense and he was bragging about it. And he was behind double digits to the Giants, who can't beat anybody. And Jameis Winston was quarterbacking for the Giants. Okay.
Yep.
And the game was in Detroit.
Yeah, it was.
They had the game won.
They did.
And then all of a sudden, they stopped tackling. I mean, literally, they gave the ball, the Lions gave the ball twice to Gibbs, their running back. That guy's faster than lightning.
God.
Holy
Damn.
moly. But they gave you saw the hole that Dylan Sampson ran through.
Oh, yeah. Gibbs had the one that was
Gibbs
like 5
had
times.
2 of them, and they were bigger. I mean,
Yeah, they were.
nobody even laid a finger on him on either run. Now,
I mean, I
that's
could've ran
impossible.
through those.
That's impossible. I mean, all those great runs that you saw Nick Chubb make,
Yep.
people would touch him, for God's sake. I mean, nobody even touched Jamar Gibbs. I couldn't believe it.
Yep.
And then it's like, they're going to win. They're going to win. And then Detroit kicks a 59-yard field goal.
Field goal to tie it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the very first play in the overtime, bang, you know, tough acting to acting. Boom. and that's it. And they tried to get the ball back down the field, but they were crushed by that and they couldn't score. They faded on the 21-yard line or whatever. And that was the game. And my neighbor is like, oh, my God. They've already fired Dayball. That's not the problem. You know, the Mara family is the problem. And it's like we're experiencing in Cleveland. They are the worst organization, right up there with the Browns. They have given up, I think, 4 or 5 double-digit losses this year, and they give up more fourth-quarter points on average than any team in the NFL. This year, they average giving up 11.5 points in the fourth quarter of every game they play on average.
Wow.
Yeah, it's and the answer is no. Everyone has financial interests, and everything is an op-ed piece. Nobody could sell what I'm doing because you got to curry favor with the people who'll pay you, and that's what you're getting.
Nobody writes anything. It's all clickbait now. I mean,
yeah,
nobody writes anything.
And if you want to just be happy, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, go out and try to finger Donald Trump's wife. The Cavaliers play tonight.
They do. Toronto Raptors.
Without anybody. Darius Garland out. Jared Allen out. DeAndre Hunter out. And there's more. Dean Wade is questionable. This is
questionable.
You got that right. He's 2 for 17, Dean Wade, in his last 17 triples.
Oh, he was awful. I mean, I know you were doing a program and watching the Browns, but him trying to guard James Harden, who's like 90 years old, but even still, he's got moves. It was just embarrassing. And then Harden got tired because they had played a back-to-back. So
yeah, so Garland, Hunter, Craig Porter Jr. out, Sam Merrill out,
Niedermeyer,
yeah, and Jared Allen, my finger, out. And for the Raptors, only RJ Barrett is out. It's just a gimme game for the Raptors, but we can all sit back and let's see how Naquan Tomlin does. He's going to get extended minutes. I feel good because, hey, I saw Browns win. I got to see Shedeur at least get a chance, and now he's going to get a second chance. And we'll see if he can learn more as he goes playing with people and maybe he can get a chemistry with somebody besides Jerry Jeudy, somebody who wants to win football games and isn't being paid to lose football games. You know, maybe we can have something like that. And I'll just be smiling during the Cavs game and saying to myself, you know, this is all right. This is all right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I hope I didn't offend everybody who's watching. But you know something? If I can't say what I believe, it ain't worth doing the program. I love my sports. I love to watch my sports. I want the Browns to win. And sometimes, because of my past and being a decision maker, I get edgy when I see the wrong decisions being made. And I just want to replace people with more competent people. And I'm not going to fire Andrew Berry. The bottom line is, we got some guys out there who he's drafted who are contributing, and you got to change his head. With Stefanski gone, you bring in a coach who has offensive beliefs and understandings. And so, if Shedeur turns out to be, even if he's not the future guy, but he's the best, if he's the best choice right now, then this opens up the reality of a downfield passing game, which we have none of that with Dylan Gabriel.
It makes our running game better, you know.
And that will maybe Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski won't have anyone's ear, and maybe we'll go after a couple of wide receivers or offensive linemen, whatever it takes to and buy our way through the draft into a few free agents here and there to recalibrate what our thinking is. And maybe we can get this team to have a real running game with Judkins, because the defense won't know what we're going to do before we do it. And that we'll have wide receivers who can make big plays downfield. I hope. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be watching the Cavs tonight. I'll be back with you on Friday. And I appreciate everybody coming in here and giving me a listen. Until next time, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.
We love you, Cleveland.
I love you.